Alright, quick video on the wiring with the SwapTime harness from Mitch. So you need 3 wires on the SwapTime system once he reworks your factory harness for you. First, there's one that's labeled fuel, and I'll kind of go back and forth between here and the truck. On the fuel pump relay, you want this red and black wire coming off of this number 3 terminal. So it's red and black. And here is where that relay is bolted. There's a bolt here. The relay kind of hangs in there. Unplug that relay. Here's what your plug looks like. And then this is my fuel wire from the SwapTime kit. And hard to see it because of the lighting, but the wire coming off of this plug that you're looking for is red and black. Just cut, splice into it, and then I'm going to clean all this up later. This is just sealed up right now, so it's not touching anything. So that's fuel. So fuel pump relay and the fender, red and black wire. Next, you need an ignition source. On the ignition coil, you're looking for this black and red wire. So another black and red wire off of this ignition coil, and this will give you 12 volt all the way through the accessory, on, and the crank detent on the switch on your key ignition. So that's the wire you need from that, and I'll show you where I found that as well. So on your ignition coil, on your factory Toyota setup, ignition coil kind of like is mounted right here. So this right here is the wire coming off of that, and right in here, red and black wire to my SwapTime ignition 12 volt input wire. And then this one again is just capped off for now. I'll clean all this up later. This was just to get the motor started. The last thing you need is a crank signal. Okay, crank signal goes through the ignition switch. Through well, on the Land Cruiser, it's got, I mean, on the Lexus version, there's a theft system, but Major Tom said that this black and white wire also runs through a connector called P1. Okay, so on your main body harness, once you get all this, this is all, factory, this is all ran through the intake, and this is your injectors. These couple of plugs down here, these right here go back to the transmission transfer case. So all this is like routed inside your intake and runs down the passenger side, the driver's side, of your factory Toyota setup, okay? Here is the crank or starter wire. Major Tom told me this connector is called P1. Okay, you look, it's all dirty, so it's down on top of the transmission. I believe it's the transmission connector. In P1, it runs that same black and white wire through the transmission connector to give a crank signal using the factory neutral safety switch. Okay, and I believe the way we hooked this up, it's still looking for that neutral safety switch. I haven't verified that yet, but with the SwapTime system, this is what a garage looks like when you're doing a swap and have kids and a full-time job. If you do the SwapTime muscle car module, there is a neutral safety switch, park neutral switch right here. There's a park neutral switch you can hook up. It looks for ground, but once you plug this in, from my understanding, it kind of overrides things and allows you to have a park neutral safety switch on your setup. Right now the transmission, the 10L80 is in park. So I'm not sure if that's working or not, but I've got crank and the motor fires up and starts. And from there, it's just, I've got way too big of a battery cable right now, but cable from alternator to battery. And then this big one here that's just laying up here right now is battery to starter. So that's it. It's really easy to hook up. I think I've got a few hours in figuring this out. Like I said, with the help from some guys on the forum, helped track some of this stuff down. So Yeah, there you go.